The drama between LeBron James and ESPN's most outspoken personality, Stephen A. Smith, just got a whole lot hotter. A video has gone viral showing Stephen slamming LeBron, and it's already sparking chaos online.
You didn't do that. You said you my son. No, I wasn't. I was talking about you.
Word on the street is that Stephen wouldn't have gone that far if he knew he was being recorded. Well, it's too late now. The footage is out there, and there's no taking it back. So what actually went down in this whole Stephen-LeBron saga? Let's break it down. Stephen Smith slams LeBron James. Stephen A. Smith doesn't hold back, never has, never will. He's built an entire career on speaking his mind, consequences be damned. It's what makes him one of the most polarizing figures in sports media, but also what keeps ESPN writing those 7-figure checks. His unfiltered opinions have created countless viral moments and sparked endless debates. But in early 2025, Smith may have crossed a line that transformed a typical sports hot take into something far more personal and controversial. The target of his critique wasn't just NBA superstar LeBron James, it was LeBron's son, Bronny. And if there's one thing we've learned about LeBron James over the years, it's that family comes first. On January 29, 2025, during an episode of ESPN's First Take, Smith unleashed a blistering commentary on Bronny James's NBA readiness that would spark one of the most public and personal feuds in recent sports media history. The catalyst was a Lakers game against the Philadelphia 76ers, where Bronny played 15 minutes without scoring a single point. Smith's commentary began innocuously enough, showing a clip of Lakers coach J.J. Redick addressing Bronny's performance, but quickly escalated as Smith grew more animated.
Come on, y'all. I mean, it's got to a point where this LeBron sensitivity is just beyond the pale.
Smith then launched into a detailed critique that went far beyond just analyzing Bronny's gameplay. He directly questioned LeBron's judgment as a father, suggesting that nepotism, not merit, was responsible for Bronny's NBA presence. This wasn't just a passing comment. Smith hammered the point repeatedly throughout his monologue, highlighting Bronny's modest statistics to that point: 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, 0.4 rebounds over 13 games, shooting 1/16 from the field and 0.7 from 3.
With LeBron James' mystique hovering over him, 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, 0.4 rebounds. 1 for 16 shooting overall, 0 for 7 from three-point range, 13 games.
What made Smith's commentary particularly provocative was his use of a boxing analogy that likened Bronny's NBA situation to Marvis Frazier being knocked out by heavyweight champion Larry Holmes, implying LeBron was failing to protect his son from a situation he wasn't ready for.
I used a boxing analogy on First Take earlier today, and I used Marvis Frazier, the son of Joe Frazier. Go back and look at the highlights. He went into the ring against heavyweight champion Larry Holmes.
In the analogy, Smith noted how Holmes had dismantled the younger Frazier, with the referee having to step in multiple times. The implication was clear. Smith was suggesting that legendary boxer Joe Frazier had failed his son by putting him in a situation he wasn't prepared for, and drawing a direct parallel to LeBron and Bronny. Smith attempted to cushion his critique with compliments about LeBron's parenting, but the damage was done.
That's all I'm saying. With LeBron, the best of intentions. Wonderful father by all accounts. I'm not casting any aspersions on him. I'm saying, that's your son, bro. You know the game of basketball. He ain't ready yet. Why put him in that position?
The commentary was particularly provocative given the unique context of Bronny's NBA journey. After suffering a cardiac arrest in July 2023 that hospitalized him for 3 days during his time at USC, Bronny had a modest college career, averaging just 4.8 points on 36% shooting in 19.3 minutes per game. Nevertheless, the Lakers drafted him 55th overall in 2024, making history as he and LeBron became the first father-son duo to play together in the NBA. For LeBron, this wasn't just a basketball milestone, it was the fulfillment of a long-stated personal dream. He had previously declared his desire to play alongside his son before retirement, and when it actually happened, LeBron called it his greatest basketball accomplishment.
It's probably, when it comes to basketball, it's the greatest accomplishment that I've ever had.
This made Smith's criticism not just a commentary on a rookie's performance, but a direct challenge to something deeply personal to LeBron. As days turned into weeks following Smith's commentary, the tension simmered beneath the surface. LeBron, normally active on social media and quick to respond to critics, maintained an unusual silence regarding Smith's comments. Some speculated he was taking the high road, while others suspected he was biding his time. Then came March 6, 2025, a night that would transform this simmering tension into an explosive confrontation that no one saw coming. coming, least of all, Stephen A. Smith. During a nationally televised game between the Los Angeles Lakers and the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden, cameras caught LeBron making a beeline toward the courtside seats where Smith was sitting alongside entertainment mogul Ari Emanuel and comedian Larry David. What happened next would go viral within minutes and dominate sports headlines for weeks. LeBron, in full uniform during a break in play, confronted Smith face-to-face, reportedly telling him to stop talking about my son. The exchange was brief but intense, with LeBron demonstrating a rare public display of anger before returning to the court. The next day, Smith addressed the confrontation on First Take, appearing somewhat shaken by the encounter.
That was LeBron James coming up to me, unexpectedly I might add, to confront me about making sure that I mind what I say about his son. Can't repeat the words because they ain't suited for FCC airwaves.
Smith emphasized that he felt LeBron had approached him not as a basketball player, but as a protective father.
That wasn't a basketball player confronting me. That was a parent. That was a father.
But Smith also attempted to defend his original criticism, claiming his comments were directed more at LeBron than at Bronny.
But if we had that conversation, I would have said to LeBron James, I never would speak negatively about your son. I was talking about you, meaning you, LeBron James.
This subtle distinction seemed to be Smith's attempt to reframe his criticism, suggesting he wasn't attacking Bronny's abilities, but rather questioning LeBron's judgment in putting his son in an NBA spotlight he might not have been ready for. Far from diffusing the situation, Smith's response only intensified the feud. In subsequent media appearances, Smith characterized LeBron's actions as bullshit and weak, taking particular issue with the public nature of the confrontation. He even suggested there could have been physical consequences, stating he would have immediately swung if LeBron had touched him, though acknowledging he would likely lose such a confrontation. The feud escalated further when LeBron appeared on The Pat McAfee Show to give his perspective. While more composed than during the courtside confrontation, LeBron made it clear he had no regrets about defending his son. He drew a clear line between legitimate criticism of performance and what he perceived as personal attacks. When you take it and get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players, LeBron stated firmly. In a particularly pointed comment, LeBron compared Smith's media tour discussing the confrontation to being on a Taylor Swift tour run, suggesting Smith was exploiting the situation for attention rather than addressing the substance of their disagreement. The public spat quickly drew in other prominent voices. Charles Barkley, never one to shy away from controversy, weighed in on the heated feud, noting the personal nature of the dispute. Even NBA Commissioner Adam Silver found himself pulled into the conversation as the league grappled with the implications of such a high-profile confrontation. Fans overwhelmingly sided with LeBron. On Reddit, comments supporting the Lakers' star-flooded discussion threads with statements like, "Cook that fraud," "Dude ruined ESPN," and "SAS is a clown, glad Bron is calling him out." The sentiment on X, formerly Twitter, was similar, with users pointing out perceived hypocrisy in Smith's response. People have been criticizing Bron for the last 22 years, but the moment he finally speaks out, he's in his feelings and being petty. As if the situation needed additional complexity, Smith made a factual error during one heated exchange that further damaged his credibility. He claimed LeBron had not attended Kobe Bryant's memorial service in 2020, a statement that was demonstrably false. The backlash was immediate, forcing Smith to retract and apologize on X, admitting he misspoke and acknowledging that LeBron had attended but requested to remain off camera out of respect. This unnecessary tangent to the main controversy further fueled perceptions that Smith was willing to make personal attacks without regard for accuracy. The feud showed no signs of cooling as March turned to April. After scoring a late winner against the Indiana Pacers, LeBron posted a video of Stephen A. Smith boxing with a mocking womp womp sound effect, clearly indicating the animosity remained fresh. Just when it seemed the situation would continue indefinitely, an unexpected development shifted the narrative. On April 25, 2025, Bronny James had a breakthrough performance against the Milwaukee Bucks, scoring 17 points and dishing out 5 assists in 30 minutes of play. This impressive showing seemed to vindicate LeBron's belief in his son's abilities and potential. In a surprising turn, Stephen A. Smith revisited his stance on First Take, stating, "I might have been wrong about Bronny's NBA readiness." This acknowledgement, while not a full apology, represented a significant shift from his earlier critical remarks, and suggested that perhaps Smith was capable of adjusting his views based on new evidence. LeBron James defends son's basketball dreams passionately. LeBron James's passion for his son, Bronny's basketball journey runs deep, much deeper than most fans realize. It's a story that begins not with Bronny's NBA draft or even his high school career, but much earlier, when LeBron first recognized his son's love for the game they would eventually share at the highest level. Long before the Stephen A. Smith controversy or the historic father-son NBA milestone, LeBron was laying the groundwork for Bronny's development through hands-on coaching and mentorship. According to UCF guard Mikey Williams, who played alongside Bronny in their youth, LeBron was actively coaching Bronny during his middle school years with the North Coast Blue Chips. He was out there leading huddles and cheering like it was Game 7 of the NBA Finals, Williams recalled in a November 2024 interview on Angel Reese's podcast. This early hands-on approach wasn't just about basketball strategy, it was LeBron's way of sharing his knowledge, experience, and passion with his son. This coaching continued as Bronny progressed, with LeBron establishing his own program, Strive for Greatness, where Bronny could develop alongside other talented young players. A 2021 Fox Sports article detailed how LeBron coached Bronny during a game at St. Vincent St. Mary in Akron, Ohio, LeBron's own alma mater, sharing pointers before tip-off and encouraging him throughout the game. LeBron's coaching wasn't limited to Bronny either. In 2023, Fox Sports reported that LeBron coached his younger son Bryce's AAU team to a comeback victory, showing his commitment to developing both his son's basketball talents. This family-wide approach to the sport demonstrates how deeply basketball is woven into the fabric of the James family identity. As Bronny's career progressed, LeBron's support became increasingly public. Social media became a platform for the proud father to celebrate his son's achievements and milestones. After Bronny led Sierra Canyon High School to a victory over LeBron's alma mater in December 2019, LeBron shared his pride on Instagram, highlighting not just the win, but his son's growth as a player. When Bronny achieved significant milestones, LeBron was always ready with public praise. After Bronny was selected for the prestigious McDonald's All-American Game in March 2023, LeBron posted enthusiastically on Instagram, celebrating his son reaching a benchmark that he himself had achieved as a high school star. This pattern continued as Bronny transitioned to the professional ranks. In January 2025, after Bronny scored a career-high 31 points in a G League game, LeBron took to X, formerly Twitter, with an emotional post. "Grateful of you, kid." These weren't just casual social media posts. They were a father publicly documenting and celebrating his son's basketball journey, sharing his pride with millions of followers. But perhaps the clearest indication of LeBron's passion for Bronny's basketball career came in his stated desire to play alongside his son in the NBA. Unlike most sports dreams, which remain abstract, LeBron was explicit and determined about this goal years before it became a reality. In a 2022 interview with People magazine, LeBron stated unequivocally, "My last year will be played with my son. Wherever Bronny is at, that's where I'll be. I would do whatever it takes to play with my son for 1 year." This wasn't just idle talk. It was a concrete plan that would influence major career decisions. The following year, in a Sports Illustrated interview, LeBron elaborated on this vision. "I need to be on the floor with my boy. I got to be on the floor with Bronny," clarifying that he wanted to play either alongside or against his son, referencing the precedent set by Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. in baseball. This public stance wasn't without controversy. Many NBA observers, including Stephen A. Smith, questioned whether it was putting unfair pressure on Bronny or potentially distorting the draft process. Reports from ESPN noted that LeBron's dream of playing with his son was factored into the Lakers' decision to draft Bronny in 2024, leading to accusations of nepotism. Rich Paul, LeBron's agent, pushed back against this narrative, clarifying that Bronny made his own decision to go pro, with LeBron supporting that choice rather than directing it. This nuance was often lost in the broader conversation about the father-son NBA milestone. When the dream finally became reality, with the Lakers drafting Bronny and creating the first father-son duo to play in the NBA, LeBron's joy was evident. In an interview, he described it as his greatest basketball accomplishment, saying,
It's probably, when it comes to basketball, it's the greatest accomplishment that I've ever had. Done it all as an individual, but there's no greater accomplishment that would be able to overtake me being on the same floor as my son.
This statement is particularly revealing coming from a player with multiple NBA championships, MVP awards, and Olympic gold medals. For LeBron to rank playing with his son above these professional achievements speaks volumes about his priorities and values. LeBron's passion for Bronny's basketball journey was perhaps most evident during times of adversity. When Bronny suffered a cardiac arrest during a USC practice in July 2023, LeBron and the family provided unwavering offering support, issuing statements, and ensuring his recovery. This health crisis could have ended Bronny's basketball aspirations, but with his father's support, he not only recovered, but continued pursuing his NBA dream. As criticism of Bronny's NBA readiness mounted, particularly from figures like Stephen A. Smith, LeBron defended his son while acknowledging Bronny's own mental toughness. In a July 2024 ESPN interview, LeBron stated, "I don't know if people really understand Bronny. He doesn't care. I actually care a little bit. He doesn't give a gun. He does not care about nobody," highlighting his son's resilience in the face of scrutiny. The confrontation with Stephen A. Smith in March 2025, while controversial, demonstrated the lengths to which LeBron would go to defend his son from what he perceived as unfair criticism. It wasn't just about protecting Bronny's reputation. It was about creating space for his son to develop as a player without being undermined by constant negative commentary. In his appearance on The Pat McAfee Show following the confrontation, LeBron clarified, "When you take it and get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players." This statement reveals how LeBron views his role, not just as a father, but as a veteran player with a responsibility to shield the next generation from undue criticism. Bronny James building his own NBA legacy. While the feud between Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James dominated headlines, and LeBron's passionate support of his son's career has been well documented, the subject at the center of it all, Bronny James has been quietly working to establish his own identity in the NBA. His journey, filled with unique challenges and opportunities, offers a fascinating case study in navigating the pressures of a legendary last name while developing as a professional basketball player. Bronny James entered the NBA under circumstances unlike any other rookie. Drafted 55th overall by the Los Angeles Lakers in 2024, he signed a 4-year, $7.9 million fully guaranteed contract, substantially more than typical for a late second-round pick, reflecting both his potential and his unique marketability. The historic significance of joining his father as the NBA's first father-son duo to play simultaneously added another layer of attention and pressure. Bronny's path to the NBA wasn't smooth. During his single college season at USC, he averaged just 4.8 points on 36% shooting in 19.3 minutes per game, modest numbers that wouldn't typically project to an NBA career. More significantly, he suffered a cardiac arrest during a USC practice in July 2023, which hospitalized him for 3 days. This health crisis not only impacted his college production, but created uncertainty about his basketball future entirely. Despite these challenges, the Lakers took a chance on the 6'2" guard, believing in both his potential and the historical significance of the father-son pairing. His NBA debut alongside his father in the Lakers' 2024-25 season opener represented a milestone that LeBron described as the greatest accomplishment that I've ever had. But once the initial excitement of this historic moment faded, the reality of Bronny's rookie development came into focus. His role with the Lakers was limited, primarily coming off the bench for short stints. During the 2024-2025 season, he appeared in 27 regular season games, starting only one, and averaged just 6.7 minutes per game. His NBA statistics reflected this limited opportunity: 2.3 points, 0.7 rebounds, and 0.8 assists per game, with a field goal percentage of 31.3%. These numbers, while modest, were what could reasonably be expected from a second-round draft pick getting minimal playing time on a playoff contending team. The playoffs further highlighted Bronny's developmental status, as he recorded no stats in just 4 total minutes over 2 games during the Lakers' first-round loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. These limited opportunities fed into the criticism from figures like Stephen A. Smith, who questioned whether Bronny belonged in the NBA at all or was simply benefiting from nepotism. However, there was another side to Bronny's rookie season that painted a more promising picture: his performances in the NBA G League with the South Bay Lakers. Over 11 regular season G League games, he averaged an impressive 21.9 points, 5.3 rebounds, 5.3 assists, and 1.9 steals in 34.2 minutes per game, shooting 44.3% from the field and 38% from 3. These G League performances included standout games that demonstrated his potential, such as a 39-point explosion against the Santa Cruz Warriors on March 24, 2025, and a 31-point performance against the Rip City Remix on January 24, 2025. The stark contrast between his NBA and G League statistics suggested that Bronny's development was hampered not by lack of ability, but by limited NBA playing time and opportunity. This dual existence, struggling to make an impact in limited NBA minutes while thriving in extended G League action, created a complex narrative around Bronny's readiness and potential. It also fueled the debate initiated by Stephen A. Smith about whether he deserved his NBA roster spot on merit alone. Lakers coach J.J. Redick offered a more nuanced assessment of Bronny's development, noting, "I think his confidence is growing. Next step is becoming an elite-conditioned athlete," while praising his ability to handle the intense scrutiny that came with his lineage. Lakers GM Rob Pelinka highlighted defensive plays and a corner three against Denver on March 14, 2025, as signs of Bronny's progress. Fellow NBA players also saw potential where critics like Smith saw nepotism. Carmelo Anthony, a future Hall of Famer and former teammate of LeBron's, offered a positive prediction. "In a couple years, Bronny is going to be a real NBA player, like a real solid NBA player," reflecting confidence in his long-term development. To properly contextualize Bronny's rookie season, it's helpful to compare his trajectory with other players drafted in similar positions. Guy Santos, selected 55th in 2022, averaged 4.1 points and 2.8 rebounds over 72 games in his first 2 seasons. Aaron Wiggins, the 55th pick in 2021, gradually improved to average 11.7 points and 3.8 rebounds by his 4th season, ultimately securing a 5-year, $45 million extension. Most encouragingly, Patty Mills, another 55th pick from 2009, went on to have a prolific 16-season career. These comparisons suggest that draft position isn't destiny, and player development often extends well beyond rookie seasons. Among his 2024 draft class peers, Bronny ranked 42nd in points, 46th in rebounds, 41st in assists, and 44th in minutes, with 5 classmates not playing at all. Notably, he was never ranked on NBA.com "Skia rookie ladder," indicating his limited NBA impact relative to other rookies. These statistics, while not impressive in isolation, need to be considered within the full context of Bronny's unique situation. Unlike most rookies who are drafted primarily on basketball merit, Bronny's selection was complicated by several additional factors: his father's expressed desire to play alongside him, his marketability as part of the James brand, and his recovery from a serious cardiac event. Pre-draft evaluations from outlets like The Ringer suggested Bronny wouldn't be on the draft radar without his famous lineage, with one NBA general manager stating bluntly, "Bronny is nowhere near ready," and advocating for more college development time. These assessments fueled the nepotism narrative that Stephen A. Smith would later amplify. However, the Lakers organization appeared to take a longer view of Bronny's development. His fully guaranteed contract suggested they saw legitimate potential worth investing in, regardless of the immediate marketing benefits or keeping LeBron happy. The team's development strategy, splitting Bronny's time between limited NBA minutes and featured G League play, indicated a thoughtful approach to nurturing his talents rather than simply appeasing his father. The turning point in Bronny's rookie narrative came on April 25, 2025, when he had a breakthrough performance against the Milwaukee Bucks. Given extended playing time, 30 minutes in an NBA game, he scored 17 points and dished out 5 assists, showing flashes of the potential that had been more consistently evident in the G League. This performance was significant not just for Bronny's confidence, but for shifting the external perception of his NBA viability. It was after this game that Stephen A. Smith, who had been his most vocal critic, acknowledged on First Take, "I might have been wrong about Bronny's NBA readiness." This partial reversal highlighted how premature judgments on young players, especially those with Bronny's unique circumstances, can quickly be rendered obsolete by development and opportunity. What makes Bronny's journey particularly distinctive is the mental fortitude required to navigate the unprecedented pressure of his situation. Most rookies can develop relatively anonymously, working through struggles away from intense media scrutiny. Bronny, by contrast, has had every minute of his limited NBA playing time analyzed through the dual lenses of being LeBron's son and the beneficiary of potential nepotism. LeBron himself has highlighted this mental toughness as one of Bronny's key strengths, stating in a July 2024 ESPN interview, "I don't know if people really understand Bronny. He doesn't care. I actually care a little bit. He doesn't give a fuck. He does not care about nobody," emphasizing his son's ability to tune out the noise and focus on development. This mental resilience would prove essential for navigating the unique path Bronny was on, unlike most rookies who are judged primarily on their own merits. The question constantly hovering over Bronny wasn't just whether he belonged in the NBA, but whether he belonged there on his own merit, separate from his father's influence. When examining Bronny's style of play, it's clear that while he shares some mannerisms and skills with his father, he's developing a distinctly different game. At 6'2", he's significantly shorter than LeBron's 6 to 9 inches frame, necessitating a guard-oriented approach rather than the position-fluid dominance that characterized his father's career. Lakers observers noted that Bronny's defensive instincts were often ahead of his offensive game, with his quickness and athleticism translating well to perimeter defense even when his shooting was inconsistent. This defensive foundation provides a pathway to NBA relevance, even as his offensive skills continue to develop. His G League performances showcased a more complete offensive repertoire than was evident in his limited NBA minutes. With extended playing time, Bronny displayed improved three-point shooting, playmaking ability, and a developing knack for creating his own shot skills that could eventually translate to a solid NBA rotation role as a combo guard. Perhaps the most revealing aspect of Bronny's rookie season was how he handled the immense pressure of the Stephen A. Smith controversy and the subsequent public feud with his father. Rather than being derailed by the external noise, Bronny maintained his focus on development, gradually improving as the season progressed and ultimately delivering that breakthrough performance against the Bucks that changed the narrative. Looking toward the 2025-26 season and beyond, the path forward for Bronny James involves continuing to balance NBA and G League play, developing his offensive consistency, and gradually establishing his own identity beyond being LeBron's son. The unprecedented father-son dynamic will likely continue to shape public perception of Bronny's career, but the foundation being laid in these developmental years will ultimately determine whether he can build a sustainable NBA career on his own merits. The G League statistics suggest the potential is there, while the NBA numbers reflect the reality that development takes time, especially for a second-round pick with Bronny's unique journey. As his father approaches the end of a legendary career, Bronny stands at the beginning of his own NBA story. Whether that story ultimately involves becoming a solid rotation player, developing into a starter, or simply having a respectable professional career, the journey itself represents something significant, the opportunity to forge his own path while carrying forward a basketball legacy unlike any other. What's clear from his rookie season is that Bronny James is neither the bust that early critics like Stephen A. Smith suggested, nor an immediate star benefiting solely from his last name. He's a developing young player with genuine potential, navigating unprecedented circumstances with remarkable poise, and working to build his own NBA legacy one game at a time. Thanks for watching. If you had a good time, keep the adventure alive by clicking on one of the suggested videos on your screen right now for more amazing content.